Welcome to Gray Propaganda, where we discuss the lies, falsehoods, and politics of the day. Today we have an article from CNN fact checking Trump made at least 20 false claims in his conversation with Elon Musk. Now, this is funny to me. CNN trying to explain what is and is not the truth. They have been notorious for spreading misinformation. And just take this example from this clip from this Colbert show.
Go after someone who's 20 years younger than him, who is a different gender, a different race. It's kind of been this moment where he has not been able to coalesce around a single attack line.
I know you guys are objective over there, that you just report the news as it is. No, I know. CNN makes it. I know.
Is that supposed to be a laugh line?
I wasn't supposed to be, but I guess it is.
They are a joke, and everyone knows it. Your average Colbert Show viewer knows it as well now. This article and video from CNN covers lies of topics such as crime, inflation, immigration, just about everything Elon and Trump discussed during their interview. On the same page of this Facts First checklist is an associated video with the author, Daniel Dale. He's the expert Facts First guy. So let's listen to what he has to say.
Conversation on X, the world's richest man gave the former president a platform to say whatever he wanted without any pushback. And not surprisingly, Trump made plenty of false claims, at least 20. Most have been debunked repeatedly, some for years. CNN's Daniel Dale joins us now with a fact check. And Daniel, as I like to say to folks, Daniel, you know Trump's lies better than maybe Trump does. You cataloged them for years. You know them all too well. And we heard a lot of them repeated last night.
We did. This was the same stuff I've been dealing with, some of them for 5+ years, been fact-checked dozens of times, but he keeps saying them, as we know.
Yeah, let's listen to this one bite about crime. Let's listen to that.
Their crime rate's coming down and our crime rate's going through the roof. And it's so simple. And you haven't seen anything yet because these people have come into our country and they're just getting acclimated.
But we know, generally speaking, crime is down across the country.
Crime is down, Jim. Yeah. This claim is not only not true, it's the opposite of reality. Crime has been falling for 1.5 years plus. Violent crime and murder significantly. We had a 6% decline in violent crime in 2023. It was a 15%.
Okay, so we have here, violent crime is down 2023, 2022. I would like to see the last 4 years. I would like to see the last 8 years. I want to see Trump's immigration policies versus Biden's and Harris's, because it seems like they're nitpicking or selecting a very small window to get a number that is beneficial for them. The illegal immigration, the tough on crime stuff, we see it in all the major cities, the sanctuary cities, these illegal immigrants coming in. And there's a lot of unreported crime, a lot of catch and release, a lot of horrible crime that goes unreported, and just everyday stuff. Illegal immigrants joining gangs, doing theft, forcing store closures, and our major cities. I just don't see how they can spin this as hey, crime is down. No matter how much illegal immigration we have, I just don't buy it, no matter how much they spend these numbers.
And decline in the first quarter of 2021, even starker declines in murder, 13% in 2023, 26% in the first quarter of 2024. So these are preliminary figures. That the precise numbers might change when we get the final numbers, but there is no doubt about the direction. Crime is certainly going down.
This is a good example here. First quarter 2024 versus first quarter 2023. Why just the first quarters of the last 2 years for these numbers? If we saw the last 5 quarters, flip this first quarter 2023 through second, third, fourth, and then first quarter 2024, what would these numbers look like? Probably not higher. Probably lower, I would imagine, because if it was higher, they would just use those numbers and make it look like crime was down even further.
and it is now lower, violent crime and murder, than they were in 2020 under President Trump.
Yeah, and Christian was talking about how the campaign wants to appeal to younger voters. Well, younger voters are concerned about climate change, and Trump had some thoughts on that. Let's listen.
You know, the biggest threat is not global warming, where the ocean's going to rise 1/8 of an inch over the next 400 years. And you'll have more oceanfront property, right? The biggest threat is not that. The biggest threat is nuclear warming, because we have 5 countries now that have significant nuclear power.
What did you make of that?
So this Trump says a lot of wrong things, Jim. This claim about the extent of sea level rise with global warming is one of the very wrongest. So Trump keeps saying sea levels are going to rise 1/8 of an inch in 200, 300, 400. Once he said 497 years. It is actually more than 1/8 of an inch now per year. So more per year than he says is going to happen in 4 centuries. According to NASA figures, it's about 1/6 of an inch per year.
Yeah, definitely not going to try and debunk the NASA figures for specifically Mar-a-Lago, 1/8 of an inch every 9 months is probably true. But I want to see the numbers for worldwide. If it was 1/8 of an inch every 9 months across the world, I would imagine they would just say that, because why not? That reinforces your point. So I'm gonna guess it's not as bad everywhere else. The climate change stuff, the global warming, yeah, we know which direction it's going in. Debating that is a whole nother topic. But I would imagine that this is true.
0.17 inches per year today. Over 300, 400 years, we're talking about feet. And if we want to bring this point home for former President Trump, it is especially fast in Florida. We have a tide gauge right near Mar-a-Lago, and that data shows that sea levels right there are rising about 1/8 of an inch every 9 months. So he says every 400 years, it's every 9 months. And I'll add, he keeps making this joke, oh, a sea level rise is going to give people more oceanfront property. Yes, it's a joke, but it's a ridiculous joke. We're talking about communities becoming uninhabitable, people losing their homes, infrastructure damage, more flooding, more destructive hurricanes. This is bad stuff. It's not really a laughing matter.
Yeah.
And now we have here the article itself under the video, starting with crime. Trump claimed our crime rates going through the roof. Facts first response here. Trump's claim is false. Both violent crime and property crime dropped significantly in 2023 and in the first quarter 2024. Again, to drive it home, if violent crime has been up 20% in 2020, another 20% in 2021, 20% in 22, and now just recently has dropped 15% or 13%, or that still means it's overall up. Violent crime is up, and there's a lot of undocumented crime, unreported crime. Everyone knows that crime has been going up. The next fact check here, inflation. Trump said, I think we have the worst inflation we've had in 100 years. They say it's 48 years. I don't believe them. Facts first response. Trump framed this as an opinion, but it's baseless nonetheless. Wrong in 2 different ways. First, even when the inflation rate hits its Biden-era peak of 9.1%. Let's just pause there and think about that for a second. 9.1% Biden-era peak inflation. Everyone knows inflation is through the roof. Everyone knows that if they spent $200 on groceries this year, that only cost them $100 last year, or $50 the year before. It's unsustainable. It's a Biden era problem. Furthermore, we have here in June 2022, that 9.1% rate was the highest since 1981. Only 40 and 41 years prior, certainly not 100 years, and not even 48 years. Wow, great fact checking. Second, inflation has declined sharply since the June 2022 peak, and the most recent available rate at the time he spoke for July 2024 was 3.2%. a rate that the Biden presidency aside was exceeded as recently as 2011. Great. Yeah, let's call Trump a liar here. Inflation, not bad. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Let's just orange man bad. Let's not worry about the 9.1% peak inflation during the Biden era. It's terrible, absolutely terrible, and people cannot live that way. Let's head down to the next one. Harris and prisoners. Trump claimed of Harris she wants to release all the prisoners that are in detention, and some of these guys are really bad. That just came out today. Facts first response. This is false. There's no basis for the claim that Harris wants to release all the prisoners that are in detention. Trump appeared to be referring to news stories and conservative media that reported that Harris had said in 2019, while unsuccessfully running in the Democratic presidential primary, that she wanted to close privately run immigration detention centers. Primary Harris, yeah, that's a funny joke there. No one wanted her. Everyone's behind her now. And there's going to be a coin flip of whether or not we're going to get Trump or Harris in November. I'm super stoked about that. Let's head back and talk about all the detention centers. Clearly wants to close some of them. Like, we can't expect Trump and Elon, while they're doing an interview, to be robots and researching on Google every time they respond to something. She clearly wants to close some of them. Is she going to close all of them? Is that a facts first or false fact response that needs to be fact checked? They're reaching so far here, and honestly, it's just sad. So I'm going to cut the video there because this article goes on and on with more of the same of these nitpicking responses that are slightly wrong, but everyone knows that the general message is spot on. And that's why the Trump campaign has all this excitement behind it, and Harris has nothing. Thank you.